Good morning. The special board meeting of Thursday, July 7th, 2022 is now in session. If you would all please rise and place the flag, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. I have two blue cards. If you're interested in addressing the board, please get a blue card to us. The district is providing alternatives to in-person attendance for viewing and participating. Any individual or group representative may address the Board of Education on any agenda item or subject within its jurisdiction during one of the three public comment sessions. Sorry, I don't have my glasses. That's right. Sections. I have two. We'll start with the in-person speakers, and from there we will go to the virtual ones. Do we have, Andrew, all so far? We said there was going to be 5 virtuals. All right, we will start with Joel Schlossman, followed by Adriana Arias.
Boy, I'm grateful for this opportunity. I want to tell you, I think this superintendent is horrible. He's been horrible for 7 years. I think we can do much better. And when you decide, when you contemplate keeping him, renewing his contract, or getting somebody new, I hope you'll factor in these following things in your decision. I wish that you would have a secret vote of all the employees, because I think you would be shocked at the level of support that is lacking for this superintendent. And I'll contribute. If there's costs involved, I'll contribute to it. Hey, he puts people last at meetings, He talks about white privilege, but he doesn't talk about male privilege. We had a mother who was saying, I can't stay here all night to the end of the meeting to talk to you, to give input. I've got kids at home, but tough luck. If you want to talk about school business, you're going to wait to the end of the meeting. So he's not sympathetic to others. He thinks about himself. When we had rioting and looting, he didn't condemn that. He called that protesting. I think that sets a bad example for our youth. I think that there should not be lawlessness, no matter what. His lawsuits have cost the district millions of dollars, but he's so clever when he designs the settlements that the public can never find out the true cost. They're secret settlements. You folks may know, but we don't. I think it's his ineptness that has cost us these lawsuits over and over again. He declared a man guilty without a trial. How American is that? I mean, don't we teach civics in school? It makes you want to throw up. I wouldn't want you on my jury, Mr. Superintendent. Before you hear the facts and see the facts, you proclaim a man guilty. Disgusting. Our students have poor performance. Our state testing reveals it year after year. And I don't hear the superintendent giving goals for improvement. His goal for improvement was a fraction of 1%. A fraction. How disgusting is that? That's not leadership. Forgive me for getting carried away. Think about the poor treatment of the custodians under his leadership over the years. I mean, it's unconscionable. Hard to be sympathetic when you're making over $300,000 a year, Mr. Superintendent. He tells folks what to say, what to read. That's censorship. I'm against it. You should be against it. I believe in education. If there's something you don't like, educate them. Explain to them why they shouldn't be doing it. Don't tell me what books I can read. It's personally offensive to me. He admits to destroying official record. Now, he should be fired for this one on the spot. He admitted it to you. Official records, official school business. He says, I delete my text immediately. Well, in America, we get a right to face our accusers. Don't we? In my America, we do. Not in his America. In his America, it's okay to destroy evidence. In his America, I can't, I don't know what was said, even though it's an official document. And his underlings copy what he does. Ramo erased his too. It's a lie. It's a conspiracy, really. I asked him to show me his phone. No. I asked him 5 minutes after the incident happened. No. I think he's a liar. Okay, sends his kids to another district. What does that tell you? You know, tells you how great Burbank is, but not for his kids. Factor that in. Rampant nepotism here in Burbank. How many employees are related to each other? One of your own employees came and talked about nepotism and you shot him down. You had Sarah Neiman here. You could have asked her, the superintendent could have asked, hey, is there any truth to that? Because if you look into it, you'll find there's all kinds of relatives working here in the school district. Nepotism is here under his watch. Does nothing about it. Also troubling, he favors certain races and skin colors over the others. It's okay to give special treatment in his book to different races and different skin colors. That is very, very troubling. And it's hypocritical. You can't, here's the definition of how to spot a hypocrite. It's when you say one thing but do another. It's when you treat those in power differently than they act towards underlings. You give advice, but fail to follow your own guidance. You preach tolerance. The superintendent preaches tolerance, but judges others who don't conform in their way of thinking. And that's a definition of hypocrisy. The superintendent met all four. So look, how much time do I have left? 1 minute. 1 minute. Thank you. You know, weigh it out. Would y'all please, you know, we can do better here as a district. There's better people. We don't need a nationwide search. We've got good people here. I believe in the people we have. You know, it's time for a change. It's just that simple. Time for a change.
Thank you, Mr. Schlossman. Next speaker and my last blue card is Adriana Arias.
Or you want one of us to time? Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry.
Good morning.
No,
You're
go
good.
ahead. You're fine. You're fine.
Like, am I supposed to wait? Okay, well,
Nope.
thank you so much for allowing me to come in here. I actually wanted to attend the previous board meeting, but I was at work, but my husband did attend with another mom. So I'm here to kind of just wanted to follow up and see what was discussed after the discussion we had about the 2 unvaccinated cheerleaders who have cheer camp coming up August 1st. I know we were on a deadline where we needed to make our first payment, or I think it was the only payment, which was July 1st. My husband and I took it upon ourselves to actually make that payment for our daughter. I know it's non-refundable, but we are just here in hopes to know what was the decision made. I also wanted to let you guys know that a little bit about myself. I work in higher education, so I work in a college in LA, and all of our COVID restrictions have been completely dropped. So I get it. Safety is the #1 concern. I work with students all the time. I want my daughter to be safe as well, because COVID doesn't discriminate. They will get the unvaccinated and the vaccinated students as well. So my suggestion, if she is allowed to go, is I'm willing to allow her to take daily COVID tests in the morning, just to make sure that she's healthy and she's safe and for everyone around her. So yeah, I know last time that that my husband was here, everything was a little unclear, a lot of confusion. So just here again to ask to please take that in consideration. I know she's one of the 2 students, the only 2 students here. This is her last year. She didn't get to go to cheer camp the last 2 years. Mental health, depression, anxiety does live in our homes. So that's something that I know will affect all of us, not just her. It'll be a weekend that, you know, she's at home and her friends are at cheer camp. It's definitely going to affect her, not just that weekend, but I know there are restrictions during football season if she doesn't attend cheer camp, because she is one of the smaller girls. She gets to fly and to that, so she won't be able to do most of that during most of the season. So again, she is a senior. This is her last year. I'm just here to ask to see what your thoughts were on that, and then what you think. think that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys again.
And now my final blue card is from Luis Ayala.
Thank you for taking the time to come out here. Let me just get my notes ready here. Dear board members, before you get ready to make a decision, I want to pose a question for each and every one of you. How committed are you to excellence for this district? How committed are you to our students, principal, teachers, and to your classified staff? Is it time for a change? Or do we improve on what we currently have? That decision will fall in your hands for how the next 4 years this district at Burbank Unified will be run. However you elect, that is up to you. Whichever way you choose today, it's clearly up to you as school board members. Now, on a personal level, for the past 2 years that I was president of CSEA, I worked with Matt Hill. Personally, during the worst time during the pandemic, making hard decisions. And I must say, I like to give credit where credit is due. And Matt did a wonderful job. I worked with him well, and he rose above to hear out the classified employees during the pandemic. Thank you for that. But lately, ever since the unfair, unequivocally controversial job study where the line was drawn in the sand, where custodians made a strong presence at the board meeting pleading for equality, but it did not happen. And now we're facing more scrutiny. Staff are leaving the district, principals, teachers, classified staff, and there's very little that is being done to replace those in a timely manner. In the department I work for, in the grounds department, it has taken months to have interviews. And it just so happened that today they will be interviewing 2 employees. And I do sure hope they get both of them because we need them. But it has taken a long time to reach that point. And that has been a common thing around the district. Which leads me back to my first question. How committed are you to excellence? How committed are you to fight the still and present biases towards individuals who face roadblocks to get promotions, whether it be a supervisor position, whether it be through a reclass, not because of what they do, but based on who they are? I can say that because I have experienced it personally. How committed are you to fight against organizations who belittle your employees and treat them like they don't matter, especially those who have language barriers? That's the reason why I took my own personal time to be here, to be the voice for those who felt powerless to speak up for fear of retaliation. The status quo cannot remain. We must implement changes to make this commitment heard by all your employees. The morale is as low as can be, and I know because I work in the grounds department and at that floor level, taking on different job descriptions and duties because we still have employees who still believe this district can't be turned around. How committed are you? Are we to reform and hold all leadership and leads accountable to take this challenge and the bull by the horn and say enough is enough? We need to improve the situation. Employees, especially employee management relationships, must be improved. We must improve this and we must turn this around immediately. How committed are you to excellence and to hold your management and leads accountable for being complacent to improve their relationship with their employees? One manager I do want to give credit where credit is due is Mrs. Kutka. She is an acting ground supervisor, and she makes it a point to have weekly meetings with the ground staff, allowing us to voice our concerns and troubleshoot immediate and pressing concerns, opening up the means of communications between management and employees, making us feel more inclusive, and maybe we can borrow a page from her strategy book. I realize a decision needs to be made here today, but for the sake of our students, for the sake of our staff, for the sake of our mental health, please base your decision on a commitment to excellence for all employees. Thank you for your patience and your time.
Thank you. Mr. Schlossman, you've had your time to speak. Please stop making comments. Or Mr. Schlossman, I've been very kind. Yeah, it's just not my style, but I will if you force me to. So please don't. Please don't. Okay. Virtual comment, virtual speakers, I should say.
Yeah, Ms. Tabbitt, we have 3 virtual speakers. Would you like me to promote it or? Yes, the first speaker will be Ms. Go, followed by Mr. Barton. Ms. Go, if you can hear us, please unmute your microphone and you may begin speaking.
We don't have that technology yet to throw it up yet, but apologies.
You'll be able to hear it, I think.
Yes.
Michelle, can you hear us?
She's unmuted, but maybe her volume's off.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why my video is not working. Okay. Anyways, okay. Good morning, Burbank Unified School District board members and fellow attendees. Hello again. My name is Michelle Go, and I'm the mother of Giselle Lormer. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to be here. The reason I'm speaking to you today is regarding your policy of not letting unvaccinated students attend overnight trips. However, since I received an email from Charlene Tabet yesterday, and the issue of mandatory vaccinations for athletes and performers will be placed on the July 21st agenda, I will save my speech for that day. Thank you for your time and consideration. I look forward to this policy being overturned at the next meeting so that all cheerleaders can attend USA Cheer Camp. All the best to you and your families. Thank you and hope you have a wonderful day. Sorry, my camera's not working.
It's okay.
Is that all you, is that,
Oh yeah, that was it.
okay. Thank you for your time then.
Okay.
Next, we'll move to the next virtual speaker.
Next speaker is Mr. Barton. You may unmute, followed by that would be Ms. Wolf Tolgar.
Good morning. I'd like to address the issue of Matt Hill. I've never met Mr. Hill. I'm one of many parents that had his student and or students go through the Burbank Unified School District. It seems like the public wants to address his leadership much like a businessman, and that's the viewpoint that I want to take here. I find his leadership to be lacking, being a businessman myself. I find that during the pandemic, it seemed that he was following more of a Me Too rather than taking the forefront. It appeared to me that whatever LAUSD did, Burbank followed as well. Again, I wasn't aware of the protocols. I'm not part of that. Again, this is just my perception. during that time, it seemed that not only were the schools lacking, the educators were lacking as well as to how to handle this. Again, from a leadership point of view, I believe that that should have been set forth. The amount of time that it took from the March 13th shutdown to the time in which they actually went virtual, which was almost the following school year, and still were unprepared. Again, I find that to be leadership lacking. To have him at the pay that he is, again, I don't quite understand it, being paid more than the governor of California, and then to ask for a raise, particularly during a time in which attendance is down, kids are leaving the school district, teachers are leaving the school district, principals are leaving the school district. Again, I think that says a lot about the leadership and the establishment that is in place. And again, this is all from my perspective. I'm not part of the meetings, either behind doors, closed doors, or in public. I have attended a few of the meetings here, and I just find that if we're looking at it from a business point of view, that I think that that needs to be addressed. And for a leadership point of view, I would feel very uncomfortable having Matt Hill as a CEO, president of a company, or in this case, the superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you for your time this morning. Next virtual comment.
Our last speaker is Ms. Wolf Tolgar. You may unmute your microphone.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Bethany Wolf Tolgar, and I'm a parent of 2 children in the BUSD at the McKinley Elementary School. And my comments are related to the closed door performance evaluation and retroactive salary increase for Matt Hill. As others have mentioned, from a business perspective, there have been key points that are lacking or are in very unfavorable positions at this time. So we have failed measures that have been under his watch. We have unfilled positions through the teachers and staff, declining enrollment, declining performance of the students, lack of leadership during the pandemic. Everything rolls up to the superintendent, and they are responsible for not just the good, but also the bad. And at this time, I think it's unwarranted for a retroactive salary increase built into a new contract. Just as a concerned citizen as well, this is not the right way to spend our dollars. Our district is in need of lots of things, and a salary increase for the superintendent should probably be at the bottom of the list at this time. It's not prudent at this time for this to be considered, and I think it would be reprehensible if it actually does go through, because again, the buck stops at the top, and right now there's a lot of things that are amiss and that need to be improved for someone to show that they deserve a salary increase at this time. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. I appreciate the work that you do, and you have a hard job to perform, but you're not just the voice of yourself, you're the voice of everyone that falls within the Burbank Unified School District. And so I call upon you, the school board, to make the right decision. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you to all the speakers. Is that our final? Okay, thank you. So can move on to superintendent's comments and responses.
Thank you, President Tabbitt, and thank you for all the speakers. As Ms. Go said, for the overnight trips, that will be agendized for the July 21st board meeting for the board to discuss. Only comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Board members. Anyone wish to comment? Mr. Ferguson.
Question, is the conflict of interest policy that I've been asking for coming to the 21st meeting as well?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So I think that that's really important. And thank you for expediting that as well. Thank you to all of our speakers during public comment. Because this is mostly an employment related matter, there's not a lot of commentary that we're really able to offer. Having said that, we are your elected representatives. It's our responsibility to listen to public feedback and hopefully to take that feedback and implement it. So while we are discussing leadership, it's important for people to participate and to weigh in, and we can take it from there. But really appreciate everybody taking the time to come down. When it comes to the vaccination issue, we'll certainly discuss on the 21st. We can't discuss items that are not agendized. So that's why, and in our previous meeting, we discussed that it wasn't agendized then. And so Ms. Tabbitt has placed it on the agenda. So hoping to get you an answer relatively soon. But again, just thank you everybody for taking the time to participate. Mr. Ayala, it's great to see you, and thank you for taking your own time to be here. And to all of our employees who are working this summer, our sincerest gratitude for your service and wishing you the best.
Thank you. Dr. Weisberg.
Thank you to everybody who is here and also who have been sending us emails. Greatly appreciated. I wrote down, Ms. Arias, thank you for both you and your husband's super active participation. I know it's not easy to carve time out, both for your husband in the evening and you in the morning. So thank you for participating. Mr. Ayala, as always, thank you for your passionate speech and advocating for your colleagues. It's really, really important. And lastly, yeah, I mean, to Mr. Ferguson's point, we can't really comment on personnel issues, which is part of the reason why, as people mentioned, the discussion around evaluation is done in closed session. That's the way it is for everybody. All employees deserve that. I don't think any of us would want to have our conversations about the ins and outs of our job performance done in public. But as Mr. Ferguson said, we're elected to serve our constituents. And so showing up, speaking, emailing, all of that is hugely important. And please know that I do think I speak for everybody when I say we all read every email that we get. I respond to every email that I get. And I'm appreciative that we have such an involved group of stakeholders. It's an honor to serve everybody in that capacity. It truly is. So thank you to everybody. Just checking to make sure if I didn't write down anything else. No, thank you.
That wasn't a comment. Yes, it just happened. Thank you again to all of our speakers today. I know it takes time out of everyone's busy lives to come on down or to call and make a phone call and share your thoughts and feelings with us. It is appreciated. The emails are helpful. I try to respond as much as possible. I don't get to all of them, but I do read them all. So just know that that's happening. Anyway, oh, my apologies.
Yeah, I also I want to thank all of our speakers for being here early, 8:30 in the morning. And thank you for your input, and all the feedback. But again, I want to thank everyone for being here this early. I know it's 8:30, but thank you very much.
Okay, seeing no more speakers, no more virtual, I will adjourn to closed session.
Everybody.